Hi everybody. Tonight I'm gonna do a makeup review slash product review. So it's kind of like a get ready with me. However, I have some new makeup brushes that I ordered for myself off of Amazon. I will show you the link real quick, but just a little backstory. You know, I'm kind of old school. Back in the day, we always used to use our fingers. You know, us girls and from the 80s. We always used our fingers. There was no such thing as all these makeup brushes and beauty blenders and yada yada yada. And ever since I started using makeup brushes, I've been hooked on them. However, I have a lot of hodgepodge. Oh geez, I can't even begin to tell you how many hodgepodge makeup brushes I have. Here's just a little sample of some. Holy, I mean, I have a ton of them. I've got different, you know, brushes for powder. Oh geez, but they're all hodgepodge. So I decided to order myself a nice, decent little package on Amazon. So in this package, it is called the Beaky Makeup Brush Set. It's synthetic, but it comes with 10 pieces plus a beauty blender and a brush cleaner. I paid $9.99 for this, and I actually paid $11.99 for it because I paid for the extra shipping to get it like in 2 days. So this had over 27,000 reviews at 4.5 stars. So I'm going to put them to the test and see what I think about them. And just in case any of my hair friends are wondering, I am wearing my Shiloh tonight just to give my hair a break. Liz has been wearing her all day, and as you know, she's been cut, manipulated, styled, cut again, thinned out, cut again, and I've had this wig for so long. So if you're interested in this unit that's on my head, the Noriko Shiloh, you can look back. I've got several videos on her. I think like 4 or 5 videos. I got like the original, the unboxing, the cutting, the thinning, the layering. Because as you know, she used to be a really long wig. She was way down to here. But these fibers have held up for so long. This color is phenomenal. I wish that's my Jaden. See Jaden? She's taking a break back there. I wish she would come in this color because I would buy a lot of them. I would scoop them all up. But nonetheless, this is not a hair video. This is a makeup video with some new brushes. So inside the bag, they do give you a little thank you note and a little pamphlet that shows you what each one of the brushes do and yada yada yada. But if you are a brush user, you pretty much kind of know what each brush does, or you don't even have to use them for what they say. I mean, I've seen some where, you know, you can do your eyeshadow, but you can also use it as a contour brush to contour your nose if that's the type of thing you're into. But anyways, let's tear into this package and let me get some of my makeup. And speaking of that, I had some makeup deals that I came across. My local Rite Aid, like I always find the stuff 75% off. So I have a couple of little new makeups that I've been trying, and I have a couple that I really like. So as I'm using these and I got the makeup, I'm gonna tell you all about it. Okay, so each brush is individually wrapped. They're all individually wrapped. So you would just take all the wrappers off of them. There's all the bundles. The beauty blender is wrapped. It's a little squashed. Oh well, kind of squishy, squashed up a little bit. Here's the cleaner. I'm just assuming that you just take your brush, you use whatever you use to clean your brushes, and you're just gonna, you know, back and forth on the little scrubby. I've never actually used one of these. I've just used, believe it or not, to wash my makeup brushes. I actually use a little bit of shampoo and hot water, and that usually does the trick. But nonetheless, this came in the package. Just got my spectacles here. Okay, so right off the bat, I'm having a difficult time trying to figure out which angled brush is which. We have one down here that's for the face powder. This is an angle brush. And then I also have one that's a little bit higher. That's an angle brush that says that it's for your liquid foundation or cream to powder or what have you. But these two brushes, is really hard to tell which one's which. One's a little taller than the other, but I mean, I don't think that really matters. So I guess it's just pick and choose whichever one you want. The brushes aren't actually labeled, so it's hard to tell because some of them actually look similar to one another and it's hard to tell what's what. So I'm imagining that if you take one of the angled brushes and use it for your powder, you're going to want to use that one for your powder every time, because if you interchange them with liquid makeup and powder, you're going to have a huge mess. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one of these angled brushes for half the side of my face, and I'm going to use the crumpled up beauty blender that was in the package for the other side of my face with my foundation to see how I like, which side I like the best, whether it's going to be the brush or the blender. Okay, quick funny story. Back in the day, before I ever used a beauty blender, I didn't realize you were supposed to get it damp, like kind of wet it down, squeeze out the excess water and let it be a little damp. And I kept thinking, why the heck this thing don't work very well, until I realized you were supposed to get it damp. So I have dampened the beauty blender that has come with it. Now, mind you, here's my beauty blender. Yeah, don't mind it. It's pretty dirty. But this was only $1 at the Dollar Tree store. And I think it's like Elf, or else it's their it's their Sassy brand. The Sassy brand at the dollar store, you know, the Dollar Tree. This was like $1. And this thing has been awesome. It really has. But one thing is when you get it damp, it usually kind of puffs up. It kind of, it gets puffy, and it really gets the good, spongy when you're doing your face. This one, however, didn't really puff up too much, because if you look, it still has all them crinkles in it from the packaging. I'm not quite sure about that, but I imagine the little area that you're going to actually use to do your face with, I think it's going to be okay, but it is kind of strange that it didn't puff up and it still has all them little indentations in it. But nonetheless, I'm going to get my shallow out of the way so that we can get started. Oh, don't mind me. My hair's all sticking out. Okay, so of the two angled brushes, I decided to pick the one that was less dense. The best way I can describe it is it's a little more compact, so it has a little more oomph to it, where this one has more fibers and has a little more fluff to it, which probably would be better doing your powder. So I'm going to say that the dense one is probably more so better for your foundation. Okay, and so the foundation that I'm going to use is this Candid by Revlon. Now, this is what I was talking about. I am really loving this stuff. So I got this for 75% off at Rite Aid. And I can't remember the exact price, but we know Revlon and something like this stuff is expensive. This way. It's pretty expensive, but I got it right around $4. So, oh man. And honestly, I love this stuff. I hate the price, but I love the product. So this is what I'm going to be using. The color is 210, and it is just natural. It is the Revlon Photo Ready Candid. My face is clean. I've done my moisturizer, and I have used a little bit of the Hard Candy primer. Just a little bit. I just use it like around my cheeks and down the center, forehead, a little bit on the chin. I don't use a lot. I'm not really a big primer person, but I will use just a little bit. So first I'm going to try the Beauty Blender. I'm going to do this on one side of my face, like I said, with the Candid. So I'm just going to put a pump on the Beauty Blender. Just like that. And I'm going to start on this side of my face and just, ooh, mama. And just start blending and patting it in. Oh. Okay, so the right side of my face is the Beauty Blender. I don't know if you can actually really tell. Maybe. I don't know. Okay, but now we're going to go in with the brush. Now, I don't actually like to put the makeup on my brush. Some people do. Usually what I like to do is just put a little bit on my face, even if I just use my finger. Just because less is more, and I don't just want to shove it on the brush. So I just pretty much will put the majority of it right on my cheek, maybe a little down here, a little up here, all right there, and then on my chin. I know, it seems like a lot, don't it? All right, so let's get the blending. Okay, so I feel like the brush gave me a lighter coverage. Even though it seemed like I used a lot of foundation, it really did give me a lighter blend. I think that the Beauty Blender gave me a little bit of a more coverage than this did. But nonetheless, they look pretty good. I think. Okay, so then let's move on to a different brush. Let's see what else we got in this little package here. Okay, so reading this, I don't necessarily see like a concealer brush. However, there is one that says Blooming Brush. Apply cream and liquid foundations onto the harder to reach contours of the face. So nonetheless, that little bad guy right down here could be the one, which would be this one. It is kind of large for a concealer brush, but I'm going to try to make it work. Okay, and so the concealer that I'm going to use is the e.l.f. brand, and all it is just in the color Light. I do not roll it up and put it on my face. I do use a brush. I keep it down low, and I dunk my brush in there like this. You see it on there. And then wherever I need the concealer, I just dab it in the area like so, and then good old-fashioned fingers. That's how I blend it. I don't use a beauty blender. I don't use the brush. I just use the warmth of my fingers. That's it. The warmth of your fingers. And I just tap it, tap it, tap it, tap it, and then kind of give a little sweep. That's it. Less is more, ladies. Less is more. So as I was saying, I'm going to go ahead and use that other angled brush that is a little more fluffier to do my powder, to just set it all. So the powder I'm using today is just the CoverGirl GC Smoothers, and it is in translucent medium. It's almost gone, but I kind of like this stuff. Usually I use the Wet n Wild Photo Ready. That is my favorite. Favorite. And you know, you can get that on the down low. That is not an expensive, it's not an expensive powder. Definitely can get it for just a couple bucks. This is actually just a couple bucks too. I think $5 for this. This is like old school CoverGirl. You who were growing up in the 80s, you know exactly what I'm talking about. CoverGirl. Oh yeah. So this isn't so bad. However, like when I do powder, I like to use a super fluffy brush. Like I normally use these type of brushes, like this super big fluffy brush. But this, it's not bad. But I mean, you really gotta get in here and get some really good. You gotta put some work into this one. But nonetheless, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. So yeah, as I'm reading through this, I see where it says the flat top buffing foundation brush, which is this one. I haven't even taken out of the package. Let me see if I can show you. So it's this one, and it says that it's for foundations, but I don't already use the other one for the foundation. And then this one says it's for powder or blush, when I already used this one for powder. So I'm just going to say right now that to me, it looks like each brush has a multiple use for it. So technically, if you were to purchase this package, you can use each one of them for however you would like to use them. So this one says that it's for blush. So that's what I'm going to use it for, because I already used the other one for powder and the other one for foundation. So I'm just going to use this one for blush, I guess. We'll give this a try. And what I'm going to use for blush is the Wet n Wild Illuminating. It's illuminating. Yes, it is. However, to just do the blush, I just sweep onto the darker pink ones, tap a couple times, and I'll apply it along the cheekbone. And I do not do the apples of my cheeks. That's how we did it a long time ago. But now you just kind of sweep it along your cheekbone, kind of going up toward your temples, because that gives you that lift on your face. Not bad. I actually like that for blush. That works pretty good. And then you can go ahead with the illuminated side, the illumination side, and then tap it too, and then get right along the top. Just a little bit. Remember, less is more. I know my lighting is horrible, guys. Sorry about that. You probably can't even see. It's so dark in here. Anyways, I really like that. That's a nice brush. So I have two of the big brushes left. Now, the one has the flat top, and it clearly says on here that it is for buffing and for foundation. Now, remember, I already used the other one for foundation, so I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with this one, but the sky's the limit. You can do whatever you want with it. The other one is kind of like, it also says that it is for powder and blush, but I already used the other one for powder and blush. So the only thing I have not done was a little bit of bronzer, contouring. I'm not really big into contouring. I mean, this is my nose. I'm not going to sit there and put a bunch of crap on it and try to manipulate the way it looks. However, I do kind of like bronzer. I love bronzer. So I'm going to go ahead and use this for my bronzer, and then we'll just see how that works. I cannot tell you the name of my bronzer because I have lost the top and I do not see the name of it on the back, but I want to say this is Milani and the color is 02 Fake Tan. Fake Tan. Anyways, so usually what I do is I just swipe through both of them like this, tap off the extras, and the bronzer, I usually will kind of do it like contour below where my blush was, and maybe a little along here on the forehead. And this ain't bad. This will work. You can get a little bit on your clavicle, on your two little clavicle bones. Yeah, that's not bad. Not bad at all. Alright, so the little brushes, they're all on this side. They give you descriptions of what you can use them for. But you know what? I am absolutely not going to go by this paper. Just not going to do it. So I see how these are, and I know what I like to achieve when I'm doing my eyeshadow and things like that. So I will just use these how I will use them, and I am not even going to pay attention to what the brochure says of what to use what for. So I'm just going to throw a little eyeshadow on, and I think I'm going to start with these two right here. And let me grab my eyeshadow palette. I've had this eyeshadow palette for probably 2 years. I think my daughter got it for me for Christmas. It's just by a brand called Cosmetics. I think it was just something we picked up at the Dollar General or Family Dollar or something like that. Now, it's been a pretty good compact. You can see the ones that I use the most because they're all gone up at the top. But usually what I like to do is use like a shimmery color on my whole eyelid. a light shimmery color, you know, just something light. So that works pretty good. I see some like shedding, maybe a little bit of shedding. You probably can't see that. Anyhow, so just a little light coating, and then let me see, I'm gonna use this angled one. We've got 2 angled ones and another fluffy one. I'm gonna use the really fluffy one for blending. So one of the angled, the smaller. Oh, sorry about that. Oh, guys, was I got the corona? No, sorry. It's probably all this makeup dust on my nose. Anyway, so I like earthy colors, so I'm gonna go ahead and use this little brown right here. I'm a sucker for all these little, all these little ones right here. They're all, even the plums. I love the plums, but I'm just gonna go up with the brown and kind of go in my crease and get a little bit here on the side and see how this works. Yeah, it's not bad. I'll get a little more. Go in my crease a little bit. It's not bad. So I also like to use a little bit of a yellow. Let me go back to one of these other little palettes. I like to use a little bit of a yellow. I have no idea. This is probably another junky little compact, but I'm gonna do my eyebrows and I'll come back and show you what I like to use the yellow eyeshadow for. Okay, so I just added a little bit of on my eyebrows, some just pencil, a little bit of pencil, and I like to use one of these yellow. It's probably hard to tell. I use this one. Oh man, my lighting is horrible, but it's kind of a yellowish color. I usually will use that after I do my eyebrows, and just a little bit of yellow along here. Guys, I really do need to get some different lighting. Honestly. I mean, I'm pretty sure you get the picture. But yeah, my lighting sucks. But yeah, I like that little angled one. I think it's got some shedding maybe again on this one. Like there's a hair sticking out, but you can't actually pull it out. I don't know if you can't even see it, can you? You can't see it. I forgot my lighting sucks. Anyhow, I don't know. I think it's not bad. It's not bad for the price. $9.99. It's not bad. I think I'll keep them all and get rid of some of my older ones, and yeah, I think that's what I'll do. Alright, thanks for hanging with me, guys. That concludes my little tutorial of the makeup brushes. If I had to give them a rating, I would give them an 8 out of 10. And that's it. I hope everybody has a safe night, a happy night, a joyous night, and a healthy night. Make sure you hug your loved ones. Oh, and for those of you who've been asking, yes, my grandson has been born. He was born on January 15th at 5:24 p.m. I think he was like 21 inches long and 8 pounds and 5 ounces. So I am officially a grandma, and I couldn't be happier. All right. Bye-bye.